The crisis is real. Canada and the world are in the grips of a mental health crisis that ruins health, threatens lives, and hurts economies. Knowing the facts is the first step on the way to creating new hope. Brain illnesses are affecting our children, our family members, our economy, and our future, and you can make a difference. Good morning from beautiful Grand Bend, Ontario. My name is Kevin O'Reilly, and thank you for taking the time to learn about mental health and brain health and giving me the opportunity to share my brain health journey with you. I'm going to share the facts and strategies to help. I'm diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. This is my doctor's report 10 years ago about cognitive function. I was off work for months at the time. My attention and concentration, I had a major deficit. Learning and memory, I had a major deficit. Decision making, a major deficit. Judgment, major deficit. Organization and planning, a major deficit. Communication, major. Social interaction, major deficit. And adaptation, major deficit. Those aren't good skills to be lacking when you're a high school vice principal. So I missed 5 months' work 10 years ago, but I wasn't alone. When I saw my doctor, he told me that mental illness is the number one reason people are coming to his office, and that was 10 years ago. It wasn't broken bones, it wasn't cancer, it was mental illness. So I was a high school vice principal, a teacher, and a coach at the time, until I wasn't, until I burned out because I was exhausted. I couldn't remember student names, teachers' names. I couldn't make decisions. And again, that's what a vice principal does all day. So the cost to society of mental illness in Canada alone is 51 billion a year, and it's healthcare costs, lost productivity, and reduction in health-related quality of life. And in any given week, at least 500,000 employed Canadians are unable to work due to mental health problems. That's 500,000 any given week. So Houston, we have a problem. Actually, Canada, we have a problem. And actually, the world has a problem. The cost to society of a disability leave for mental illness is about double the cost of the leave due to physical illness. And in Ontario, the annual cost of alcohol-related health care, law enforcement corrections, and lost productivity and other problems is estimated to be 5 billion, and that's just Ontario. So alcohol, we learn in school, is a depressant, and we'll talk about that later. So a person who's depressed shouldn't take alcohol because alcohol is a depressant. So these are the meds I was on: Cipralex, amitriptyline, and Wellbutrin. I was on them for 7 years, and each one was supposed to deal with a different chemical in my brain. But all three say, do not drink alcoholic beverages, do not drink alcoholic beverages, do not drink alcoholic beverage. So, and mental illness is the leading cause of disability in Canada, and the disease burden is 1.5 times higher than all cancers put together, and more than 7 times higher than all infectious diseases. And mental illness can take 10 to 20 years from a person's life. So this is a scan of a person's brain, and this is a healthy person's brain without depression here. And the chemicals are high. The bright colors here means high and dark is low. So this person's brain's firing well and thinking and concentrating and remembering things. And this is a person with depression, and show that certain areas, many areas, the chemicals aren't working very well. So in any given year, 1 in 5 Canadians will experience a mental health or addiction problem. In 2013-14, 5% of emergency room visits and 18% of hospitalizations for children and youth aged 5 to 24 in Canada are for a mental disorder. And by the time Canadians have reached 40 years of age, 1 in 2 have or have had a mental illness. And when I started doing presentations 10 years ago, that statistic was 1 in 3 or 33%. Now we're at 1 in 2, which is 50%. So I decided to take this course called Mental Health First Aid. As a phys ed teacher and a coach and a vice principal, I was required to have my regular first aid in case someone came to the office with a bloody nose, or if I was coaching and someone broke a bone. We would treat them, and if it needed to go to the hospital doctor, we'd recommend that. Well, with mental health, if the person's brain is stuck and they're going through a lot of the symptoms, which I'll talk about in the next video, of stress and anxiety and or depression, then we can give them some support and then suggest they see a doctor or counselor. But I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist, but I am a person with lived experience with mental illness. And that may be able to help you or ones you loved. I'll talk about more in the next video.